yes, friendship breakups are not easy. They are hurtful. They are not nice. We would love to encourage you to pray about it first. Just pray about it and don't just jump into taking a permanent decision for a short-term problem.
Hey fam!
How y'all doing?
What's good?
What's good?
So good to be back.
Oh my goodness, it's so good to be back. We know that we said we would have a Chats on Sunday episode out every second Sunday, but as life would have it, oh man, it has grabbed us by the neck. Okay, it's so hard being a corporate baddie and a corporate
baddie.
A corporate baddie. And that's some her child.
Or since the demand. No. Hey Joe, whoever you are, Joe. Hey.
Jano, it's so good to be back with you guys with the second installment on friendships. But before we get into the formalities or before we get into the topic itself, I think let's firstly greet our new viewers. If you are new.
If you are new, Sanbona, hello.
Yes, hello. We're so glad you're here. And while you're at it, someone hit that subscribe button.
Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you can get
bell.
those notifications. Don't miss out on any of the good.
Yes. And if you are a returning subscriber, what it do, fam? What it do?
What's good?
Woo. Welcome back. We are so glad you are back. Our day ones. Boy, we appreciate you guys.
We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And this life is a journey and it's always better together. So so glad that you've decided to journey with us.
Yeah, all 600 plus of you.
Yeah. We're loving it.
We love it. All right, but I think we can get into it. We are already snuggled up in our blankie.
Yeah.
So just get yourself comfortable because today's topic is quite a thought-provoking one.
Yeah, it's a bit of a heavy one, but we're alright.
Yeah.
Nothing but love. So let's get it. So today we're going to talk about the second part in our friendship series, and particularly on friendship breakups, which is a bit of a tough topic. I think it is something that we find ourselves, at least our generation, find ourselves navigating through. Sometimes we have friends that come from preschool and they'll be with us till our dying days, and sometimes we get friends who we thought we were gonna be with for life, and then somewhere along the lines it kind of just fizzles out. So we're gonna be exploring how that is, what that feels like, and how do you navigate through that. So this is not just for us. We're not preaching. It's not a preach. So we'd really encourage you guys to drop some comments and tell us what you think, and also share your own experiences on friendship breakups.
Please, we'd love to know more about your experiences as well.
So one thing that we went and did in the first part of the friendship series, which if at this point you haven't already seen, just kindly click up here.
Is it up here?
It's up here.
Okay.
It's up here.
If you're watching on a tablet, a laptop, a cell phone, you are able to click. If you're watching on a TV, just go back to our channel. It's there. It's the episode before this one.
Yeah. So we spoke about defining friendships and what friendships look like. And such is the same with breakups. Because nobody wakes up in the morning and thinking, yes, I'm gonna chop this one off. She's gone. She's gone today. It doesn't quite work that way. So I think it's important that we define the process leading up to the breakup. And one common trait is, how do we then identify bad things that start showing up in the friendship.
Red
flags, particularly toxicity.
Particular.
Yeah. How do you then recognize that this friendship is not really good right now? So I think an important part from my side is, and I kind of look at it like this: you ever watch a movie or a series?
Yeah.
And you see that, hi man, this guy, he says he loves his partner or his wife or his girlfriend. Mara, the things that he's saying are just kind of, it's not coming together.
It's not make sure.
Your words and love are just,
Yeah.
And perhaps you're watching a series or a movie, something like that, and you start asking yourself, is this what I'm going through? You kind of ask yourself, hey, this kind of feels like what this person I'm seeing on screen go through.
Sheesh.
And hey, you might just have a couple of traits that you need to deal with in identifying whether or not your relationship, and in this particular instance your friendship, is fruitful or has reached a level of toxicity.
Poisonous.
Yeah. One of the traits that I kind of think is a first red flag for me is, gaslighting.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh no, that is like number one.
Yeah, because it's one thing when you approach your friend and you talk about your concern or something like that, but the response is so important. I mean, if you come up with a concern and you kind of twist it around to make it seem like you're reading too much into things or you're crazy, it's a bit of a concern, hey? It's a tad bit of a red flag.
Not even the tad. It is an entire duvet. But maybe because the essence of friendship is built on trust and vulnerability and having a safe space to come to your friend and talk to them about them possibly stepping on your toe at the time. And so friend, better you will not know when you have stepped on my toe until I've said something. I'm the one feeling the pain, right? Manja, why are you making light of my situation?
Yeah.
Friend.
Yeah, no, making light of my situation.
Belittling my experience.
Yeah, and it can so quickly stifle a relationship.
Definitely.
Because guys, there's no person that goes through relationships that don't have any things that either hurt them or perhaps they need to communicate something that's sort of confrontational to the other person.
Yeah.
So to kind of base it on, I think you've missed the plot here, watching too many movies and belittling that you're bringing forward. It's a difficult one to take.
Yeah.
It's very hard to take. Those are one of the things that can introduce toxicity into a friendship very quickly.
Yeah.
And I think linked to that is also narcissism. Traits of narcissism.
You're hitting the nail on the head. I sham.
And this one's a bit difficult because I don't know if narcissists know that they're narcissists.
Do narcissists know that they are narcissists?
Yeah.
Oh, guys.
Narcissism is something that, and we're not psychologists.
Yeah.
Any qualified medical person in this field. But I do think that for us as individuals, it's important to understand what traits of narcissism are, so we can spot it from a mile away. So us as individuals, us as people giving ourselves as good friends, also need to be able to say, hey, but this one, I need to stay away from or move away from. It's also very difficult because you can love someone from afar, but you can't overlook these kind of behaviors with the hope that you can one day save. It's like missional dating. You're not Jesus.
No, hey, Shem.
You're not Jesus. No. And at the end of the day, you are the one that's gonna get hurt
Exactly.
By putting up
trying to pop the builder of a friendship.
No, you can't be.
But it does make me wonder, ne? Would you then, in that situation, being a friend of a narcissist, would you deem it fine, as a friend, to at least try and help them not only see their narcissism, but try and help them get help?
Yeah, I do think, and this is case by case.
Yeah.
No two situations are the same. I do think there is space to try and make this person or your friend aware that
awareness.
Yeah, that the traits are actually not very helpful, not good at all. And try to get them help. Yeah. You know, the help that they may need. Yeah. I don't know what that looks like.
Neither do I.
So we don't know what that looks like.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is space to try. Yeah. You may probably met with backlash, probably met with very hurtful things. Yeah. Maybe there's someone who's in a better position than you to get through to the person.
Who's more equipped and knows how to get through to that person.
Yes, knows how to get through to the person, or there's an emotional connection, like a parent, for example, that can, break that barrier that perhaps you can't go through. Yeah. So, there are different options, but it is difficult.
It's it's a tricky space to be in. Because like you said, Velia, we're not Jesus, and man, I'm thinking more in line, or I'm more worried about people who have the superhero complex. Because really, you are gonna want to at least try and salvage something, especially when you can see this person is struggling with narcissism. You're gonna want to try and salvage something or try and redeem something, but it's not your platform to do so. Good intentions, but not the place for it.
Yeah, bad execution.
Yeah, if good,
trying to be the savior.
Yeah.
Definitely just be careful with that, and the best way to arm yourself is having knowledge to identify these things. Even with gaslighting, it's very easy to just think that maybe I am the problem, when in fact you are valid in your concerns or things that you bring up. But it's very easy to fall into the trap to say that maybe it's just me. Sure. Maybe I am the problem. Sure. And it's very soul crushing. So beyond the confines of your friendship, it can do real damage to you as a person. Yeah. To the way you view yourself and the way that you view other people and the world around you. Yeah. So I think it's very important to equip ourselves so we can see and notice some of these things as they come up. Exactly. And that will help you to make a well-informed and very important decision as to whether you continue walking this journey together or decide otherwise.
So it's interesting that you mentioned those types of traits as well, because it got me thinking that we spend so much time worrying about the friends who are not showing us the affection that we need, or giving us the attention that we need, or the time that we need, that we forget about those who actually do give us the time, who do show us the affection, who have made it clear since day one that, hey, I'm in it for the long haul. It reminds me of this bad boy complex. You know how when we were young girls, I don't know if it's similar with guys, but like young girls are after, I'm a bad boy, knowing very well that's not gonna end well, but you still want the bad boy. And I think that's just how it is with certain friends who are toxic. Like it takes a while to notice the toxicity in it, right? Because you are still holding on to the fact that, but when I met them, there was something that drew me there, right? So I'm gonna fight for that potential that I saw in the growth of this friendship. I'll fight for it because there's a reason why I'm friends with this person. But now it also got me thinking about other red flags, or things. Let me say things that will alert you that, hey, marale friendship, it seems like it's losing its minerals and vitamins. Like there's some deficiency of a vitamin or mineral here.
Very nice way of putting it.
Thank you. But things like, is the friendship serving the parties involved? Like, is it serving you? That one. And I'm not talking about the self-centered kind of serving where you want things to be done your way and you want your wants to be met in a certain way. No. That is selfish. That is inconsiderate. In fact, that is toxic.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. But I'm talking more about things that are character building. Is this friendship fruitful still? Are you guys still growing in this friendship? Are you guys still pouring into each other, investing in each other? Are you encouraging each other on your wins and the strengths that your unique strengths and respective strengths? Are you encouraging each other and empowering each other on that? And you know how society is just like, oh, always look out for number one.
Yeah.
My friend, the Bible is a complete opposite, okay? Jesus teaches us to serve. Okay, he himself said he came not to be served but to serve. So who do we think we are if the God who had a leg to stand on to actually be served
things,
he himself didn't demand that, and instead encourages leaders and encourages those who are first to be last? And are you is this friendship considered to the both of you? Are you guys being considerate of each other? Are you still caring for each other in that kind of way? And I would say, before even writing it off completely, run a spot check on those kind of questions, on the friendship itself, and do a reflection on yourself as well. Would see, am I that friend? Have I been that friend? Mara, looking back, have I been that friend? Have I provided the things that we had put an expectation on, or that we had agreed with, see, this is what we're going to do? Or am I the friend that is also pouring into the friend that's pouring into me?
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Because it's very easy, like you mentioned right at the beginning, to look out for the friendships that seem like, the people aren't showing up for you. But, are you bringing some of these things that you would call toxic to your relationships? Sometimes we are the people that come in with our own flaws, and at the first level of exposure, you want to be like, So these are some of the things that we also need to introspect of ourselves, and check our hearts and check, are we being Christ-like in the way that we're loving our friends, just as you have mentioned. So it's very important to take stock. Take stock. You are human, they are human. I also wanted to drive across that in asking these questions, you might even find that a simple conversation between you and your friend, just to do a check-in, would say, hey, my friend, where are we at? Could be helpful, because you might find that your friend is actually going through a season where they have no capacity to be there for you in a way that you had expected them to. And so only then will you get to understand. We would say, okay, this is where my friend is at. Actually, how can I best serve my friend in the season that they are? Instead of always expecting them to show up for you as well. So seasons change. Sometimes you'll have to give the 100 when they are unable to bring their part. Sometimes you can meet 50-50. It can look like a 60-40. But in the end, ultimately, it is to grow as friends. It's ultimately to build your character, and not selfish. It's selfless. You're all serving each other. Yeah. Sure, it's really good.
So I recently also found out from one of my new friends. So she mentioned that she does feedback sessions with her friends. Like, have you ever heard? I've never heard of that before.
Very interesting.
I mean, come to think of it, now based on the previous conversation that we had in our previous episode, if we do set out expectations, the aim is to come back, right? Unless we've set up expectations, the aim is to come back and take stock on whether we did show up in the way that we had expected to show up for each other. But I think it's there at the back of my mind, but it's not something that I myself implement, where I ask my friends, what's a friend, how have I been as a friend to you over the past 6 months? I found that so mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But from what she said, after she asked her friends, it was very helpful, because she then knew, she does well in this, but hey, my friend, maybe you need to just tone it down, or so she then would know where to grow in her character, what to focus on, in order to best serve her friends and show up for her friends. I've never thought of that.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
Neither have I. And I think it's something that maybe in our marriage we've implemented, but I've never actually seen it in a friendship context. And
that is strange.
Yeah.
That something as vital as a friendship, like so many things, we miss so many things with a friendship checkpoint that we implement in romantic relationships, that we implement emsebenzini with a boss colleague or a boss and subordinate. I mean, boss and employee relationship. Yeah. That one is more transparent than a friendship, and that is shocking.
That is shocking. That is very shocking. So, wow, that's very, very intriguing. So, thank you, new friend. Okay, so on the back of what we've just spoken about, have you?
Me?
Yes, you. Yeah. My love, have you experienced a friendship breakup?
I've experienced a lot of friendship breakups. I think a lot when I was younger. It was a lot when I was younger, up until probably university. And how I went about it then, it was tough in the sense that I couldn't speak up for myself, or I could, but I didn't know how to. And so my defense mechanism would be to ghost.
Yeah.
Chop, ghost, gone. And I don't say anything about it, leave the poor people confused. But as time went on, just before we got married, there was a friend that I ghosted, but I did feel like I owed her an apology, so I did reach out to apologize. Obviously, Vele, this is now years later. She's livid. She wants nothing to hear from me because I just up and left. And not kind of granted, I understand. I understand. I probably feel the same way as well. Uti, you were my friend. The least I expected was for you to be comfortable enough to come to me and tell me that you didn't appreciate A, B, and C, and then have us both then decide to end this amicably. But now, post-marriage, now that I've learned how to communicate.
Yes.
During marriage, actually, let me say that. During marriage, there is a friendship breakup I experienced where I had to speak to this person and let them know, see, I don't appreciate A, B, and C, and I'm seeing that there are a lot of things that are happening that make it known to me that you do not consider me a friend.
Sure.
It was a tough conversation to have with this person. It's someone I had invited to my wedding, so it's someone I had included in parts of my life that I held dear, that I expected Uti, or I assumed that she also knew or understood that I'm a friend by virtue of me opening up my life to her to that extent. But I had a conversation with him, and they also understood where I was coming from. They also acknowledged Uguti, and thank God I was not gaslit that time.
Yeah.
I had so much trauma because in the past I was gaslit so many times, which also resulted to just ghosting and running away and say nothing. So they acknowledged their part in it and also saw that I was not seen as a friend. It wasn't nice. It wasn't nice for me. I'm sure it wasn't nice for the person as well. Just coming to terms with, hey, listen, if you were, the thing is, here's my argument here. If you are a friend, if you consider me a friend, and you are going through something very sensitive in your life, let me know. Even if you don't let me know immediately, let me know. Instead, I heard it through other people. So to me, that said, this person doesn't feel safe to speak to me. This person doesn't see me as in a circle that they can inform. So I just had to take it as it is, swallow the pill. It was a hard one. And I'd say that was the cleanest friendship breakup I have ever experienced. There was no collateral damage. We ended it off on a good note that if I am to see this person at a shopping center or a shopping mall, I would gladly I'll even give them a hug. Like, I'm happy for them. I even told them, Mutibona, I'm happy for you. I just realized that I'm not occupying the space that I thought I held in your life. And it's okay. Don't feel bad about it. I'm gonna take my L and operate within the confines that you have placed me in. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with them putting me there, because to them that is where I have to be. So I have to also adjust on my side. Would see if I'm an arm's length friend for them or to them, if they regard me as an arm's length friend, then Nami without any malice, Nami let me operate at an arm's length and not hate abantwana babantu.
Kulule.
Yeah, just not free myself from
friend.
Yeah.
If you don't count me as a friend.
If you don't count me as a friend, it's okay. I'll take it and I'll move along. There are people who actually give me the attention and the affection of a friendship. So that was the last or the latest friendship breakup that I've experienced. It's not nice. It's not nice, but I'm proud of myself and proud of them on how we both handled it. Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Sure. Handled that well. That very well.
Yeah. Have you experienced any friendship breakups?
Me?
Maybe that's why you have friends that span from
wherever.
From your childhood. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. I'm not probably.
Yeah.
I mean, like I mentioned in the previous episode, growing up, I haven't necessarily been the most confrontational person.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it equated to me keeping friendships around longer than what they should have. But I think there's only one instance where I felt I did go through a friendship breakup, but it wasn't a clean breakup. Nami, I was there in Ghostville.
Oh.
which is terrible.
Yeah.
I think I was just in a space whereby, and also I struggled with a bit of an inferiority complex, and I'm only seeing that now this year.
Whoa.
That this is something that I struggled with, and I see it across the board. In the way in which I conduct myself, in the way in which I'm confident of what I'm saying. So this was back in varsity where I think part of it was a struggle with this inferiority complex, and there were also some parts where I felt a little bit suffocated in this relationship. Because I would think, I don't know, we're good friends, follow Christ, but certain aspects of my life kind of felt, I don't want to say judged.
Sure.
Because I don't necessarily think that would be the intentional part of it, but it did feel like, hey, I'm doing something wrong. You know, it felt like I'm always in a space of doing something wrong.
Would you say there was a lack of an element of grace in that friendship?
Yes. I think that actually sums it up quite nicely.
Yeah.
It did feel like there was a lack of grace. The element of grace wasn't there. And so, largely due to not having the confidence to actually say that, hey, this is not working.
Sure.
I think that's when I was just like, oh, I can't breathe, anxiety.
Oh.
You know? And looking back, definitely there were some things that I needed to work through. And perhaps one day, if the opportunity arises with this particular person to just explain and hash it out, then great. It's not something that keeps me up at night. I just acknowledge that. I just acknowledge the fact that, hey, I was wrong. But that was I was wrong. But you know, if the opportunity did present itself, I would have a discussion to just clarify if they are receptive to it. But I think it's something that I've grown from. And also it's not nice because it does kind of feel like, so similar to the way in which the person you had a breakup with, you felt like they kept you at arm's length. I felt like I was on the other end, you know, when someone's trying to reach out and you're just like,
sure.
But you know full well that you don't want to be there. But
sheesh.
So I do have my experience from the other side of the fence. But with that being said, the space is still felt, you know, because there's certain things, as you build a friendship over time, there's certain things that you and your friend would, you know, almost create a culture around, or they become a norm for you guys. So there definitely was space, even though there was a ghosting, but there was a space that they held. And whether to a large degree or to a small degree, there is a little bit of a gap that comes into play. So that's my story.
Your breakup.
My breakup. It's as bad as breaking up with someone over an SMS. It's terrible. Over Mixit. It's terrible. No.
Alright, thank you for sharing that, Mr. Habster.
And you. And you.
We are growing. We're growing.
Yes, we are.
So I'm proud of us for at least, you know, recognizing our faults, but also learning from our mistakes. And we can't also beat ourselves up about it because we didn't know better back then. And when we do know better, we do better as well. So okay. Right, now the next thing we're gonna touch on dealing. Now the middle, the in between, the dealing with the friendship breakup. And my sister sent me this other meme or a quote that I think is so helpful for today's chat. It says, "We talk a lot about cutting people off, but nobody talks about the grief that comes with having to stand firm on that decision, knowing it's not what you wanted, but what was necessary for your well-being."
Sure. That's deep, eh?
Yeah,
that's quite deep. And that really does encapsulate what dealing with a friendship breakup entails. You know, so I mean, I touched a little bit on it just now as I was explaining my own friendship breakup. About there still being a void, certain things that you have normalized in your friendship certain things that have become, culture or routine in your friendship. That even though it may have come to an end, depending on length, different factors, depending on length, depending on depth of your friendship, depending on, times that you would hang out in different days, what you would do when you hang out, having an ice cream with this person. Now suddenly you're having an ice cream alone, and
or not having ice cream at all.
Not having ice cream at all. Poor McDonald's have lost you as a customer. But there is a void that's definitely left there. So, and because friendships are so multifaceted, so I think the theme of this has been in comparison to other relationships. So with a romantic relationship, aka Njolo, when the spark is gone, it's gone. I think it's a lot more clear that you're just hanging on to a dead relationship, because at least where romance is concerned, that this attractiveness is finished.
There's a defining, not moment per se,
but
a defining element.
Yes, the jokes aren't funny anymore. When you think of going on a date, you'd rather sit inside and watch Netflix. You just know that the excitement, the zeal isn't there.
Sure.
With friendships, because things like, if it's a childhood friendship, there's so many memories attached to that friendship. And if it's maybe a university friendship whereby you guys are struggling with one subject, you studied together until you finally got there, you've overcome, and in that time you've grown together, come to realize that there's certain similarities, and now you've gotten to a point where you feel like this relationship has reached a sell-by date, and you kind of hold on to the camaraderie.
It's that camaraderie, man.
There's so many things to kind of hold on to, and one of the most difficult things to deal with is the denial of actually this was done. It's so easy to want to go back to familiarity, but knowing full well that you've either grown apart, gone separate ways, or no longer at a point where you can pour into each other. Or maybe somewhere along the lines there was this big breakup or irreconcilable differences. What a phrase. Irreconcilable differences. Whatever it is, whether you, at the point that you've gotten to the conclusion that this friendship cannot be the same as it was, or cannot go at all, missing the familiarity of that relationship makes it so hard to stand in your decision, and also for yourself. You might find that the relationship that you've broken up from was one that put you in a position that you had to change some of your core beliefs and fundamental values.
And now you have to relearn or pick up from where you left off, because now you had to change and morph yourself
to kind of fit into this mold, and now you have to relearn, and that it's a positive process for you. But the yearning to go back to what you're used to now still lingers. So it is difficult dealing with that breakup. And I think it's also helpful, as with many things, having community around you is very helpful.
I was literally gonna mention that you need to have people to be accountable to. Because now where you could just beat Delulu about the toxicity of a friendship and find out that it's actually not toxic. You might find that no, you're actually being challenged, and you've never been challenged in your character in your life at all. You're being challenged to grow. So you need sober-minded people, neutral people who can also speak into the friendship that you're currently wrestling through. But now we're talking about dealing with the breakup. you do need sober-minded people to also help you navigate through the dealing of the breakup or the grieving of what once was a good friendship. Yeah.
So yeah, it's very helpful to have people that care from the outside looking in.
Yes.
Sometimes you get caught up in your own emotions and you get caught up in your own, thoughts, train of thoughts, sometimes destructive, sometimes not, and it helps having a fresh perspective from someone who cares to say that actually, perhaps let's try this. Or someone who, if you're really feeling down with all of this, can just say, hey, let's go catch a movie. Do you want to talk about it? If you don't want to talk about it, let's just hang out. But it's so important to have that around you so you can properly deal with the breakup for whatever reason the breakup occurred.
Yeah, it's very easy, like you said, that there are things you're gonna miss about this friend. There are routines you're gonna miss because this was interwoven into your life. It's part of your life. So it's tough dealing without that aspect and having to carve out a new thing. But always remind yourself of why you took that decision to begin with. Maybe it was for your mental health, maybe it was for healing, maybe it was whichever good reason it would be. It could be about as in let's not negate the importance of God's hand in handling relationships. For friendship breakups, you need discernment and tons of wisdom from God to even know, is it really a matter of chopping indefinitely, or is it seasonal? Do I need a break from this person for a certain season for them to maybe experience you in that moment in my absence? Or is it a matter of my time here is done? I'm out because if I continue with this, it'll be more detrimental than anything else. So we need God. We need God in that.
And for healing.
And for healing. No. Hey, and for healing, guys. Hey, we need the Lord.
Definitely
we need the Lord for healing. You can't heal on your own. You can't heal on your own. But Hashem, as of now, my friendships are ngiwakhulekele. Nonke my friends are. I prayed for y'all. I prayed with Yazin, whoever I come in contact with, Lord, can it not be my own doing? Can this friend be sent by you? And then I prayed what this friendship must entail. If you want to know what the friendship must entail, go check the previous episode. So yeah, guys, with that said, yes, friendship breakups are not easy. They are hurtful. They are not nice. But unfortunately, with certain friendships, we are faced with a situation where we have to make the decision to either end it or try and work through it if it is salvageable, if it is worth working through as well. But as mentioned earlier, we would love to encourage you to pray about it first. Just pray about it and don't just jump into taking a permanent decision for a short-term problem. It could be that there's just misunderstandings in the friendship, but for severe cases where it is completely unhelpful, please do pray about it. Ask God for guidance on how to go about breaking this friendship, how to do it in a way that honors Him, in a way, we can't say in a way that's not messy, because some friendships really do end on a messy note, depending on the level of toxicity as well, or the level of attachment that has taken place there as well. So you do need those sober-minded people that we spoke of earlier as well, who will speak wisdom into your situation and speak life into your situation and help you navigate through the grief of the breakup of the friendship as well.
And God can heal.
God can heal. And
He will if you trust Him.
We are clear examples of that. God can heal. The mere fact that we are able to sit here and talk about these things as well is testament to the fact that God has healed. God does heal.
So true. So if he did it for us,
he can do it for you.
And with that being said, that brings us to the end of our second installment on friendships. We do hope that what we spoke about gave you something to think about, and hopefully it was helpful for your situation as well. And you know, we don't want hurtful things happening to our people, but we do hope that it makes you a bit more aware and puts you in a better space to be a better friend and for your friendships to blossom. Because we want your friendships to blossom. Indeed. So if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Mrs. Habster's page. Leave a comment again of your thoughts, experiences, and some of the things that helped you get through your own friendship breakups. And we'd really love to engage with you.
There are so many facets we haven't touched on, but we are open to chatting on the comment section with you guys about it as well.
So till next time, we will see y'all. Have a good one. Goodbye.
In the next 2 Sundays.
In the next 2 Sundays.
Goodbye.